Who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian council, silence. Islamic leaders, silence. Kings and queens, silence. Traditional leaders, silence. So who go say the truth? We are the workers of comfort call. Now by area, why no better? We are the workers of comfort call. One guy's out here, why no better? Who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Oh, he need it now, see what I see so. Now your friend and I ain't come at them. Only baby obeka nice and yeah. So I want one over you too. Everybody was afraid. And when you nan to my cottage again nine. Once my boy dumping one and I see. But who go tell the truth? Nanai or say me. Nan so be am person beka wansam because everybody is afraid. Anya safwe muayini. Akuku drofo nyina dalima. Enti who go say the truth? Obiaja konson so to grow Germansa to me be a kakobrafo. Efo anyina ye. Efo when you know yet. Na so kutrata down na so be dia back or why no keke. I fene for be man mo pia for efo ne cross on my mo. Hanya safwe mo ayini. Akuku drofo nyina dalima. And who go say the truth? Abaya di bote chino. Yedi bi bebo nyande bi. Kachi se udi oma upipi numa. Would your mind never shine my preference? But who go tell the truth? TUC, silence. Even journalists, silence. Oh, then who go say the truth? Right is right. Wrong is wrong, no matter how you justify. You say you wanna get rid of corruption. Someone want to help you, now the person become your target. Jobless no they mean senseless. Poverty no they mean useless. One day them go resist.
Truth and justice. A very good evening to you wherever you are. It's my pleasure to welcome you to MyView Show live on today's Ghana News TV. My name is Jerome Kpan, your usual host. And gladly as usual, we are coming to you live on Switch, via satellite, and on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all on the name Today's Ghana News TV. And we're equally live on Hine FM 98.7, the bright light of Easton, and King's Radio in Accra. King's Radio, you can tune in, or you can find it on TuneIn as well as myradio.com. Our feed is equally carried on Twitter and TikTok, as well as postcards on Anchor FM. If you are in the Tatali area in the northern region, you can catch us live on Sakina Information Center, and as well as Japrama TV and Ravra in the Oti region, and so many other media outlets. It's always a pleasure to start your week with My View, where I share my views, you bring your views, and we take the views of our guests. Elections 2024 has come and gone. Are there any lessons? What's the way forward? We want to look at the results. Stay tuned. When I come back, I will introduce to you my guest this evening, as well as we'll have somebody calling in from Ghana, and then we'll share our experiences. Once again, you are most welcome, and stay tuned. Wonderful, and welcome back to My View, coming to you live on today's Ghana's TV. Elections 2024 has come and gone. The results are here with us. This evening, we want to do a discussion on the outcome of the results. And in the studio with me is Dr. Mashoud Abongo, who happens to be the chairman of the MPP branch in Russia. But today, he's representing live from Volga in the Upper East region. Dr. Abongo, you're most welcome.
Thank you, Jerome.
Yeah.
Jerome, actually, I'm in Obuasi currently. I left Volga East and I'm currently in Obuasi. Yes.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful. Yeah, you promised that you were going to Volga to go and see the, what's his name, Mr. Isaac Adongo as the MP for Volga East. We will come to that.
Yes, actually wanted to unseat Isaac Adongo and the Volga East, which is Dr. Dominic Ayene. And I actually, when we came down, we seriously campaigned. But you know, elections, there are always two things. There's either you win or you lose. Yes, we're expecting to win, but unfortunately for us, we lost. So there is still hard work. There's still more work to do. And I promise you that in 2028, we will always take the Volga East. And we are working on to take the Volga Central too. So I'm promising you once again.
That's nice. We'll come back, we'll look at the details of the results of Volga East and Volga Central. But elections 2024 has come and gone. Are there any lessons? Are you surprised at the outcome of the elections?
Actually, yes, I'm surprised. Because looking at the campaign Dr. Bawumia put, I was not expecting that result, right? And if you look at the parliamentary results too, I'm even surprised. There's no words to describe it because a lot of our MPs have lost. I was not expecting that. But then, like I always say, you see, these elections was more or less not people used to say, or I've listened to many commentators. They are saying that the elections was not between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and John Mahama, but it was rather NDC, John Mahama, and President Nana Akufo-Addo. So those who make those allegations, it's more or less like I'm trying to understand why they are saying so. Because if you look at the policies that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia put in his campaign and how he has been able to tour the country, to be frank with you, the campaign that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia did, John Mahama did not do half of that campaign. So if they are going to base on the campaign Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia did and the campaign that John Mahama did, obviously I'm surprised that John Mahama won. But if we come to the other angle or the other school of thought that people are saying that people voted because they used Nana Akufo-Addo government, yes, I would more or less believe in that sentiment because the second term of Nana Akufo-Addo government came with so many challenges. and I and you know, we will not repeat those challenges. And those challenges too was as a result of the
Russia-Ukraine war.
external forces, right? Which I and you know, the COVID-19 was one, and the Russia-Ukraine war that is currently going to is another one, because nobody talks about Nana Akufo-Addo first term. The first term, no one remembers that. All what Ghanaians are saying is the second term. The exchange rate was worse in the second term. The economic crisis was worse in the second term. And that is the only thing Ghanaians remembered. No one
But
remembered the first term. And it was
but
the first term that
Dr.
implemented
Bongo, Dr. Bongo,
the
Dr.
policy.
Bongo, just a minute. Just a minute. If you look at the first term, essentially, like what others are saying, it was as a result of the economic decisions taken by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in the run-up to 2016, which we benefited or we actually harvested the dividends in the first year or the first term of Nana Akufo-Addo. Moving into the second term, it was disaster because you did not have any economic policies that could cushion the economy of the country. And that is what resulted in it. Do you share in that same sentiment?
No, I don't share in that sentiment. I don't share in that sentiment because MPP came with a policy, and you and I know we had a policy called free SHS. We had a policy called one district, one factory. We had a policy called one down, one village. So we came into the election with a clear policy, and we worked towards that policy, and we implemented those policies. So it was not like we came in and we inherited NDC's policy or John Mahama policy. No, we came into the election with a clear policy, and all those policies were implemented in our first term. So I would say it was because we had a clear vision and we knew what we wanted to do that made us to be able to run the economy in the first term. And like I stated, in the second term, it was good until the COVID-19 came in. And I look at the
Bongo,
statistics.
Dr. Bongo, Dr.
The
Bongo,
dollar, the
Dr.
dollar
Bongo.
rised up because of
COVID was not in your second
COVID-19.
term. COVID was not in the second term. COVID was not in the second
Sorry?
term. COVID was in the first term. And even with COVID, you had more inflow, okay, into the country. And it was part of the COVID money that you people used for your campaign in 2020. Remember you remember your parliamentary candidate for Sanerigu who was telling us how the monies, COVID money, was shared among candidates and party executives. So COVID was in your first term and not in the second term.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. I'm saying that the first time we didn't have any COVID-19. It came in at the end of 2019, right? That was at the end of the year. So the effect affected Nana Akufo-Addo's second term. And I'm saying this because you, as a Ghanaian, as a presenter or as a host, will state clearly that Ghanaians voted against MPP because of the economic hardship. If you ask any Ghanaian, they will tell you the same thing. And I'm saying so because 2020 we had elections and Ghanaians voted for us. That means, based on that fact, if you take logic, if they're saying because of economic hardship and mismanagement that they voted against MPP, then I would say that because the first time we managed the economy well and there was no hardship, that is why Ghanaians voted for us, right? This is logic. I'm using logic that you all know. Because if you say Ghanaians voted against MPP because of the hardship and economic mismanagement, that is what I'm saying, as a result of the COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war. But Ghanaians voted for us in 2020 and voted against John Mahama because they knew that we have managed the economy well from 2016 to 2020, right? So if they're saying that because of NDC that put in place that policies, that is why MPP was able to run the economy from 2016 to 2020, then Ghanaians would have equally voted for NDC. But no, Ghanaians saw that.
Dr. Bongo, I'm sure you didn't get what I said. I'm saying that because of the economic decisions that John Mahama took during his term, which even the World Bank projected the growth of our economy in 2017 and 2018, giving us all the positive indicators. That was what you inherited and you benefited. And even as at the time that we were supposed to experience your economic policies, COVID came, and with COVID, you received a lot of inflows from the World Bank, from the IMF, from so many donor countries. So you had a lot of money, but you mismanaged that money.
No, I disagree with you. I agree with you, because when you say we receive money, we mismanage it, I disagree, and I totally disagree with you, because during COVID-19, I was in Germany, right? And I saw that restaurant, job, everything was locked down. Even if you had money, you couldn't put it in the economy. You couldn't invest your money because everything was locked down. We were only spending, and people were only buying food to eat. It was only some essential institutions like the health sector and I would say energy sector, like those working electricity, water, they were able to go to work. The rest, the private sector, the traders were all locked down. So even if IMF gave you billions of cedis or billions of dollars, because the economy was in a standstill, there will not be any productivity. You consume all. That is what I experienced when I was in Germany, because I was working part-time with Lost Company, which is a British company, and I was doing my 2 hours with a restaurant, and it was locked for almost 1 year. So the money that I saved was what I was spending, and the small money that government was giving, I couldn't invest, I couldn't save. So based on my own experience, my own corner, if I multiply that one in the government or the Ghana scenario, yes, they receive money, but there was no productivity.
Okay, so let's move forward. The elections have come and gone. We have seen that since the Fourth Republic, almost every 8 years we change government, and sometimes the incumbent party loses. Sometimes we go second round before we get a true winner. This time round, it is a first round win with 56 plus percent, not the 50 plus 1, 56%, against the incumbent getting 41%. Then you go into the parliamentary, and then you realize that it's a tsunami. Already, I think the NDC has about 188 seats. The MPP is still around 85 or so. There are still some seats that are in contention. Does this signal a positive trend for our democracy or otherwise?
Yes. What can I say? Like I told you, I was surprised with the percentage, right? I was very, very surprised. I never expected that NDC would get that margin and MPP will get that margin. But then when I look at the figures as compared to 2020, I realized one thing. Voter turnout was low, and more or less NDC figure for 2020 was the same thing. They had around 6 million to 7 million votes, right?
Okay.
And MPP also had the same, MPP vote rather reduced. MPP
Okay.
has somewhere 7 to 8 million. So when I analyzed the figure last year, basically I've seen that NDC maintained the same number of votes. So that means in NDC stronghold or NDC members were able to come out and vote for NDC. Whilst MPP members, what I will call voters apathy. They didn't come out to vote. If you look at the figures, and when you go to Asante region, is another angle that I will be looking at. And as a politician and as someone who studied political science, I did a simple analysis and I asked some political scientists, and what they told me that is that NDC was able to massage voters in Asante region to stay home, not to come out, right? And I'm trying to study that angle because if you look at Asante region, the voter turnout was very, very low. If we had the 75% target that we wanted to get from Asante region, we would have won the elections. There was no doubt that if we had that number of voters from Asante region that we needed, we would have won the elections. And that was our calculation. That was the strategy. So I think going forward, we have failed our party members because we campaigned and we wanted to win. But our failure is more or less like success because we will now work on what caused our defeat, why we had those defeats, why our members did not come out to vote. And I would say we will work on it. We will be united and we will come out strongly. Coming to the parliamentary seat, the parliamentary seat is more shocking because we have seen even ministers lost their seat, which I think is unfortunate. And it will go back to our general secretary some time ago. He made a statement that some of the appointees have lost touch with the grassroots. Right. So I think it also plays a role. I wouldn't blame them so much, and I'll blame them so much. Why I will not blame them so much? I will not blame them so much because the workload. You are a minister, you are an MP. There's a workload on you, so you may not have time to visit your constituency frequently. That is one. And two, I also think, in my own opinion, I also think we needed to do some kind of reshuffling. You see, it is a political party, and our democracy is still developing. So if you leave one person in one position, there's always a perception underground. You have made this person to stay in that position for a long time. Right? But if there were to be the kind of reshuffling like in Kufuor's era, it would have energized the party. Yeah, also, there's reshuffle. This person have gone this place, this person have gone this way. It have energized the party. So I think those kind of scenarios, those kind of perceptions also play a role in the defeat in the representative election, the parliamentary elections. And I'm still surprised. Because if anything at all, I was thinking that we
Well, I think my producer will check and then okay.
And NDC should have been the presidential elections and would have win the majority. The worst scenario should have been that.
Okay, that would have been an interesting one. But does it surprise you? I had a discussion with you on this network where we're looking at Galamsey. You said MPP controlled Galamsey very well because you issued licenses and blah blah blah. Now, a minister of state was the one appointed as the Galamsey coordinator for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's campaign. He lost his seat. In all the areas that you people said you will not go into the issues of Galamsey because in the previous elections, some people lost their seat and you don't want to repeat the same thing, has repeated itself. Could it be that you people have not played a good role in controlling Galamsey that resulted in this casualty?
No. You see, if you look at the seat that we lost, it's not only on the Galamsey area. For example, in my area like this, we lost even the one seat that we are having. Upper East, we had MPP had one seat.
Yeah.
It was 14-1. But this year, we lost that seat too.
Was
So
it
it's
40?
15.
You were holding Binduri, right?
Yes.
And what about
He
Garo?
is a deputy minister of works and housing.
What about Garo?
No, Garu, we lost it last
No,
4 years.
no. You were holding Garo, and Dr. Anaba lost in the 2020 election, and this election he has picked it.
Yes, that was Kpan. I've forgotten the name. He was once the deputy minister of
Deputy
Justice.
Attorney General.
Yes.
Yeah.
He lost it 2020.
Okay.
Right. But we're having the deputy minister of works and housing. Is it Muhammad?
Yeah.
He lost
For
it this
Binduri.
year. So
Okay.
yes, we're having only one seat, and he lost it this year. This is
Okay.
not Galamsey area, but
Okay.
we lost those seats. So I don't think it's because of illegal mining. When it comes to
And
illegal mining, like I stated, we have been able to manage it well.
no,
And
no, no,
all
no.
what I can say is
Dr. Bongo, that one there, MPP, when it comes to Galamsey, you have failed us. You have
no, we
failed
have
us.
managed it well. All I can
You
say
have,
is that we lost the elections because of COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war. It brought a lot of hardship, and Ghanaians connect those hardships with Nana Akufo-Addo's government. You see, they
Dr.
connect those
Bongo,
hardships
Dr.
with Nana
Bongo,
Akufo-Addo government. That
Dr.
made us
Bongo,
lose the elections and the seats.
Dr. Bongo. Look,
Yes.
Ukraine, where the bombs are really landing, are providing one hot meal for the Ghana school feeding programs in Ghana. Ukraine is making exports of grains to Ghana. You are talking about COVID. During the COVID era, you harvested a lot of money. There was so much inflow into the country. And I don't know why we still want to hang on to COVID and Ukraine war, which affected your first term and even in your second term. Knowing very well that when we had a finance minister who had virtually no idea as to the direction in which our economy was moving, that eventually forced the president to ask him to go to IMF. It will tell you that your own political party, your MPs, they held a press conference asking for Ken Oforeta to step down, which never saw light of day. And worst of it all, when they moved him out, they now made him the Minister of Finance for international transactions. These are things that any any government that fails to listen to the people will punish you. Don't you think that is what happened?
Yes, like I stated earlier on, I told you that reshuffling is one of our cause of our defeat. With that angle, I agree with you because you saw that even our own MPs came out strongly that they should reshuffle the finance minister, and the then or our president, President Nana Akufo-Addo, said yes, he will do that, but until he's done with the IMF negotiation, in which it took over 1 year before he finally reshuffled him. Yes, Ghanaians will remember so. But then this should have been a sign of hope to Ghanaians to maintain those MPs in power, because these are bold MPs who have come out boldly to tell the president that let's reshuffle the finance minister to change the course of our country. Yet Ghanaians voted against some of them,
No,
which is unfortunate.
Dr. Bongo, I won't agree with you here because most of those MPs that stood up and asked for the removal of Ken Oforiatta got worked out and they lost even at the primaries.
Yes, that's why I say it's unfortunate.
So
What
it's
we
your
know
own
the fact
party.
is, yes, some of them, but not all, because Apia Kubi was the leader. Apia Kubi lost the final elections at his constituency.
And you know
That is
why he lost the
Asante
final
North.
election? It's because you people feel that an independent candidate, and you sponsor the independent candidate against Apia Kubi. That was
No,
it.
I'm not privy to those information because as a political party, we can't sponsor an independent candidate. No, it's not true. We can't sponsor an independent candidate. No.
That was good. That was.
It's just that the constituency decided not to vote for him. But this is a bold man who stood strong, who thinks about Ghana. But at the end of the day, Ghana did not vote for him. So it's not so. That's why I say there are so many things that came into our defeat, and we are going to work on it. People are already on ground. We are taking views from other members, key players in our political party, and stakeholders in Ghana politics. We will analyze all those feedback, and we will make our report and work on it. Yes, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we lost by those margins. But as I always say, you go to elections, either you win or you lose. So we are not surprised that we lost, but we are surprised the margin that we lost with the margin.
Yeah.
Because we have in mind that either we win or we lose. We
Okay.
had in our mind.
I think I don't know whether it will be too early for me to ask you if we should have the hope of seeing Dr. Baumia again leading the MPP.
Yes, of course. He John Mahama 2020, 2016 lost. 2020 he came back, he lost. And 2024 he won. So based on that, and if you look at the history of MPP, Nana Akufo-Addo, when Kufo was leaving, first round he was leading at our mills. We went second round, he lost, right? He contested with John Mahama, he lost. And 2016 he won. 2020 he won. So based on historical facts or what has happened before, I would say that they don't always give up. They will still go and they will still contest, and which
Okay.
will be a plus to us because John Mahama by then cannot contest again. So any candidate NDC will be bringing will be a new person who will be inexperienced, who will not be. I don't think they will bring a vice presidential candidate, Jane Nana. So definitely, Bawumia will be the best candidate. But that one is left with the delegates and the political party to decide. But
That is
in my case, I would have said yes. If Bawumia comes again, it will be good. But it is left with the delegates and the political party that will decide who will lead us going to 2028.
even at that point, you know, the dynamics will change because it is everybody believes in the MPP that Baumia was just pushed in there because Nana Akufo-Addo wanted somebody in there that they can control and still be in power. But as things have gone this way, the Ashanti bloc or the Kufuor bloc is also going to rise up again to see how best to restructure the MPP going to 2024. And I do not see the chance of Dr. Mahmoud Baumia coming in here. Or
No, as I told you, Bawumia is a strategist. He's a very
okay,
strong politician. And if you look at the elections, anybody who said no, they were Nana push Bawumia, it's not true.
okay,
Because we had two-step elections. This was the first time that we had a first round, right? And I didn't even expect that Alan Cash who had that kind of vote. With the first round, when you look at the vote, that is why Alan Cash ran away. He didn't even go for the second round. The first round, he ran away. He said, hey, if you look at the level of margin, there's no way I can defeat Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It was Kennedy Japan that rather surprised Ghanaians. So
okay,
if anybody tells you that it is Nana, it's never true because we had a two-step elections. The first round that narrowed down the delegates, or sorry, that narrowed down the candidates to 3 or 5. They were 9, and we reduced it to 5. And Bawumia automatically became the winner. It's just the strategy the man brought in. I never see a politician who have that strategy of campaigning. Virtually all the constituency, this man have taught all the constituency with a bus. Not those Land Cruiser that we patrol Land Cruiser, Marike Land Cruisers traveling. No, with a bus with the team, the campaign team, and in a single bus. And he taught all the constituency, 276 constituency. Wow, this is a
Brother
strong
Bongo,
politician.
Brother Bongo, that is MPP for you. I have a neutral person. He's a lecturer at the Makoya College of Education. I want to take his view, and then we see how he sees election 2024, and then the way forward. I'm privileged to have Mr. Joshua Kpan. Mr. Kpan, are you available?
Yes, I am. Good evening.
Very good evening to you, and welcome to our MyView Show on today's Ghana News TV.
Thank you very much for having me.
Wonderful. Election 2024 has come and gone. What has been the impression in the country as we speak now?
Well, thank you so much. I think these elections have actually come as a great relief to most Ghanaians, considering the past years, what they have witnessed in terms of quality of life under the Nando government. If you look at poverty trend in 2024, approximately 21% of Ghanaians are under the poverty line according to national standards. Again, if you look at economic challenges, we have seen a 50% increase in our fiscal deficit. We have seen high cost of living, increasing cost of products in the market, increased cost of farm input and all that. So it has come as a huge relief. And that has actually spoken into the numbers that the Mahama has just received. 56.5%. That's huge, unprecedented. And that goes to tell us exactly how they were fed up with this administration. So for me, I think that this current election speaks a lot, but it also means greater responsibility for John Mahama coming into governance, looking at the various metrics that are concerned. And funny enough, sir,
Yeah.
if you look at what their campaign was hinged on,
Okay.
free education. And if you look at all the metrics that look at education in general, quality education, they are filled with in terms of cost, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of quality teachers, teaching and learning materials, in terms of all the things that should bring quality education, it was all missing.
Wow.
If you go to the schools, students are fed, God forbid, they are fed like pigs or dogs in the school. Most of the work I do, I go around senior high schools in the region to, as it were, offer training to teachers on how to bring 21st century skills in the classroom.
Okay.
And through all that, we try to look at what is pertaining in terms of, number one, quality feeding, infrastructure, ICT development, and also quality and learning materials.
Okay.
You won't believe it. There was one time I went to a dining hall and I saw just 5 grains of beans, and the rest of it was water, and they call it beans.
Ooh.
It's incredible. And science will tell you that if your stomach is not filled well, the brain cannot think.
Frank.
These students were fed with food that those people out there in high places will not feed to their dogs. In terms of teaching and learning material, it was terrible. In terms of classroom congestion, it was terrible. So all these things spoke to the numbers that we are seeing in these elections. And for me, I think JM has a lot of work to do because of the kind of confidence Ghanaians have reposed on him.
Okay.
He needs to turn the tides around. But of course, he needs to take things one after the other, do marginal gains as and where he can put, not so much, just small things. Give us good roads, build more infrastructure, improve our quality educational delivery, and ensure that Ghanaians are cushioned from the obnoxious taxes, take away the betting tax, take away the e-levy, and all those obnoxious taxes that are putting so much burden on Ghanaians. Do this and you become a saint in Ghana.
Wow. But if he takes all these taxes away, where is he going to generate the revenue for the development of the country?
So fortunately,
Yeah.
Ghanaians are willing to pay taxes if they see their taxes working for them.
Okay.
Trust me, if it was under JM's first regime, where they saw roads coming up, where they saw schools coming up, where they saw hospitals, chips compound coming up in their villages, they would not have complained about e-levy.
Okay.
But here is the case, we have somebody who was taking so much taxes, borrowed so much, but little to show for it. And all those borrowings went to their cousins and brothers and sisters in high places. I say if it was under JM, even E-level, Ghanaians would not have complained about it. But of course, these things have come to burden them, and they are seeing low, as it were, development commensurate with the tax they are taking. So what I'm saying is that if you take away these things and bring back the toll booths, which Ghanaians even think they should have brought it back in the first place.
Okay.
Bring back the toll booths and sure you widen the informal tax net as well. I'm sure we can survive as a country.
Wonderful. From what you have just said, despite the fact that the MPP sang so much about their free senior high school, which everybody in the country seems to be benefiting from, there are still issues.
Yeah.
It contributed to their failure. The economic factors also played a greater role. Now, NDC comes in with John Mahama leading with 56%, which is unprecedented in the Fourth Republic. And he has a total of 180 seats as we speak right now, confirmed by the Electoral Commission. There are still others that are in contention. Going forward, will this not be a good ground that the NDC must stand on and then don't fail the Ghanaian? Else, what has happened to the MPP could repeat itself for the NDC in 2028.
You have just nailed on the head in that this JM cannot take Ghanaians for granted, looking at the confidence it reposed on him. It also shows that it is a greater responsibility to him. And just as he was talking this afternoon, that God cannot give you this heavy load, but not strengthen your neck to carry it.
Sure.
He is confident that the Lord he serves will be able to see him through. But apart from the prayer bit, I am sure that if he comes in and ensures that what Ghanaians will see in his first term, that next 20 kilometers away, they are seeing a chips compound. 10 kilometers away, they are seeing a quality school building coming up. The road to their villages are tarred and reshaped. Ghanaians also giving that same benefit of the doubt. And it is just telling us that Ghanaians regret so much for kicking him out in the first place. Unfortunately, he told before he left that posterity will be his judge. And today it has come to pass. So therefore, what it means is that going forward, the same education that Nanado and his government only played out in the media, but not on the ground. He would have to come and find ways to ensure that he fine-tunes that. How does he do that? Number one, provision of quality infrastructure, provision of quality teaching and learning resources for schools, provision of quality training for schools, provision of quality training for teachers, quality training for school leaders. If that is done, and they're given autonomy to be able to source food from their local market, it will not just feed the students well, it will also what? Enhance the local economy in their localities.
Okay.
Number two, ensure that what kills most Ghanaians, no birth syndrome, it doesn't happen again. So all those chips compounds and clinics that he was building before he left office, he should complete that. And of course, go ahead to show what governance really is for MPP. That governance is a continuous process. By finishing those Agenda 111, that they have completed less than 5 so far. He should complete them and show Ghanaians have access to them. So that if we have quality health care, we have falling food prices in the market, we have rising quality of life of the Ghanaian, we have rising quality health care, Ghanaians will see that they didn't make a mistake. But of course, if he does not do these things, the same fate that happened to NPP within these elections, worse may happen to him and to NDC. But for me, I think that JM have learned some really great lessons from his first term in power.
Okay.
He knows that he cannot make the same mistakes again. He would come with all the arsenals. Fortunately, he has competent men who are standing on the sidelines to support him to improve the economy, to improve quality of life, to improve education, to improve the overall Ghanaian working conditions. That's exactly what I think he will do. And Ghanaians would immortalize him as a leader that they've always wanted.
Wow. One thing that also stands out from what is going on in the system seems to suggest that the current Nana Akufo-Addo government and his team never listened to the concern of Ghanaians. Do you think John Mahama and his team will listen to the concerns of Ghanaians?
One thing that struck me in his first term was that there was a period that I saw JM on a motorbike at Makola Market, interacting with Makola women to listen to their concerns. That's something this government and their appointees never did. I think JM has proven that he can be a good listening father to his people. One thing I read about Roosevelt in his why he's regarded as one of the greatest American presidents was that he had a committee of bad news. A committee that must come and tell him all the bad news that exist.
Okay.
Not all the things that he needs to hear as a president. But I think Nanodo and his appointees, all of them were a committee of good news to him, where they came to paint a picture of what is not on the grounds. Case in point, planting for food and jobs. This is one of the worst things that ever happened to Ghana. It was only played out in the media. Okay. Meanwhile, we had rising cost of agricultural inputs in the market. And that translated in the skyrocketing food prices in our market. And all that we had was news and fake data being put out there about the effectiveness of this policy. But it never affected us positively in any way. Look at quality education as well. It played out in the media as if everything was fine. I remember one time, the year of roads. But look at the roads we're having today. From Kumasi to Wa, today, you spend close to 12 hours. In the day before 2016, you sit in the bus, and within 5 hours, you are in Kumasi. Today, from here to Accra, you spend close to 23 hours. Where you could spend just between 11 and 12 hours to get to Accra from Wa. These are the realities. They played these things in the media and they told the president news he wanted to hear. So he's a showboy. But I think that James has proven over the period that he can listen to his people. And that show that picking a motorbike, going from market to market and listening to everyday Ghanaian people, their things they are feeling in the market would also influence the way he makes decisions. And for me, I think he has learned some lessons in the past. I want to give the benefit of the doubt. And I am confident that if he comes, he would listen to the people and he must put in place structures, systems that would ensure that Ghanaians are able to voice out. Unlike in the present administration, where headmasters are suffering, but they cannot talk. Health administrators are suffering, but they cannot talk. Okay? These are things that we see. But before then, this man came and suppressed the media. But before then, you could see anybody could criticize John Mahama. Anybody. Journalists had field day to criticize him. Clay had field day. Civil society had field day. When Nanodo came, they killed all those dissenting voices. And ensured to promote only voices that sang his name. Something we didn't see in Mahama's government. And I am sure that if he comes and open himself to criticisms, open himself to critique, so that he can be able to better the lives of Ghanaians. He will succeed.
Mr. Kpan.
And I am confident he will do that. Yes.
Mr. Kpan, indeed, you are a teacher. If I allow you, you will lecture us 24/7. I think I will make time again, and then I can host you so that you give us more insight from a neutral point of view. Because with all these things that you are bringing out of your experience and what is on the ground, it leaves a lot for the NDC coming into government to listen and take clues from it, and that will help them in going forward. What would be your word for the president-elect and his incoming team before we say goodbye to you?
I would say to President John Dramani Mahama, first of all, congratulations for the resounding victory. This victory belongs to Ghanaian people. Democracy has won. I would say that when you come, pursue the little things that can improve our lives. Pursue the little things. Ensure that the Ghanaian people are listened to. And I am confident that if he does the very little things, he needs to assume the posture of marginal gains. Where can you make little improvements that can improve people's lives? Not slogans like what we saw earlier, bold solutions. But no solution was ever bold enough to solve our problems. So we should pursue the little things that will cushion Ghanaians, that will ensure we have quality health care, quality roads, quality education, and eventually Ghanaians will immortalize him as a president that we have always yearned for after Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So I wish him well, and I pray he makes the appointments that are really thought through, but not the highest bidders who contribute much to your campaign, but anybody that you think you can bring in or outside the party that you think can really contribute to the Ghanaian story. Ghana must be home to all Ghanaians. People must feel comfortable and safe in their country. And I am sure that if he pursued the little things, he would be able to change the narrative, bring down the trend in terms of inflation, in terms of poor health care, in terms of poor education. He would be able to let Ghanaians know that indeed a man is in power, and that is John Dramani Mahama. Congratulations, Mr. President, and I wish you well. And we are here to support you as and when we are called upon. Thank you, sir.
You are most welcome. I'm very grateful, Mr. Kpan, on this wonderful submission, and I wish you very well as well. And with time, I will get you back, and then we'll look at education specifically, how things are on the ground, especially from the College of Education point of view. Thank you very much for your time, and we are very grateful.
I would really love to discuss that. Thank you so much for hosting me. I'm grateful.
It's a pleasure. Bye. So that has been Mr. Kpan, who is a lecturer at the Makoye College of Education in Nadoli in the Upper West region, giving us the experience on the ground as a tutor and as a voter in the just ended elections. So before I bring in Mashood, so Dr. Abongo, let me just take the messages that has been sent in by our followers, and then I'll bring Dr. Abongo, and then we'll look at it and then see. Did they listen to the people on the ground, or what happened? Sakwa family says, watching from Jemapo near Koforidua. We are grateful that you are part of the show. Lady Mal, God has given Ghana and the NDC victory. Dr. Abongo, when are you coming back to Russia? Watching on Twitch from St. Petersburg, Russia. Dr. Abongo, they want you to come back immediately. Kwesi says, a point of correction, Dr. Bongo, the election was between the MPP and Ghanaians. Greetings from Anglotown in Koforidua. Okay. Jaframa TV, grateful for carrying our feet. The grace of God is upon Ghana. We have a peaceful elections and the best candidate won. Greetings from Rara in the Oti region. Kukuyevu says, watching from Suhum in the Eastern region, the MPP has the most disgraceful defeat ever. Well, so far under this dispensation, yes. Mavis Barton says, pray, say, pray. What's that? NDC has won. Oh, okay. Our enemies are worrying. Mavis, we are grateful that you are part of the show. Dr. Bongo, I greet you, NDC Diaspora Union. They are grateful that you are part of the show, always showing your face. As Empahini says, watching and listening from Achenhemai. As Empa, we are grateful. Frimpong Bevi says, Ukraine is a war-torn country, but they are doing well in terms of the economy. Watching from Akuse near Somonya. That is true. A war-torn country, but they are doing well, better than Ghana. And we still want to blame our economy, our difficulties on Ukraine. Fans TV watching on TV on YouTube from Aflao Volta region. Oh, Nyame, the OT region gave NDC 100% parliamentary seats. Watching from Inkonta in the OT region. Yeah, wonderful. Kempim says, yes, Ghanaians has been relieved from their hardships and suffering. That is the prayer that is running around. So this is my view coming to you live on today's Ghana News TV, looking at election 2024 and beyond. I have in the studio Dr. Abongo, and I want to find out from Dr. Abongo. Dr. Abongo, welcome back.
I've changed my location.
Yeah, I
Because
can see
on
that.
top of the building is dark, so
Yeah. No problem. We are almost just at the tail end.
yeah.
Now,
I just want to make a comment. One
yes,
of those who just sent you a comment and you read it. He said
yeah,
that Ukraine is doing better than Ghana.
Ghana.
It's false because Ukraine economy is basically down. They're only begging. If Americans don't support them, if Europeans don't support them, Ukrainian economy cannot do anything. They are not doing anything.
But
It's
yet they are
America who
able,
just sponsoring their
Dr.
budget.
Bongo, Dr.
European Union
Bongo,
is sponsoring their budget. So
Do-
it's never true. You shouldn't
Dr.
even go
Bongo,
there.
Dr. Bongo. Ukraine is supplying Ghana with grains.
No, it's not true. They just make an allegation that they'll give
What
Ghana
is not
Ukraine grain.
true? What is
It's not
not
true.
true? And they
Ukraine
have
cannot.
even,
Ukraine,
they have
this
even
is a country
agreed.
who's at war. Their land has
They
been
have,
taken by Russia. They don't even produce grains. Let's
Dr.
not
Bongo,
fall on the propaganda of Ukrainian
Do-
that we are going to give. It's just a propaganda.
Dr.
Which grain?
Bongo,
Which grain?
Dr.
There's no
Bongo.
grain that Ukraine is
They have
supporting.
even agreed with your government, your MPP government, Nana Akufo-Addo's government, to help provide a meal for your school feeding program.
No,
You
that's what I'm
signed it.
saying.
So
Making a statement is different.
Dr. Bongo, wait. So if that is propaganda, then that is propaganda from your government. It's your government that is playing that propaganda, and that has come back to bite you then.
No, that's what I'm saying. If someone come and give an information, right? Let's not mistake giving information and doing it. Right? If you say, oh, I'm going to give you 1 meal. Yes, they have come to say it. I just read the news today. Ukrainian president saying they are going to support Syria by giving the Syria some grain and wheat. We know him. We know what Ukrainians are capable of doing. They are coming to pass the information just to get funds, and the Western country people will support them. They say, yeah, this is a
Okay.
country that's war. This is a country that are even short of soldiers. This is a country that cannot even recruit. Right? So let's just make the propaganda. Ghana's economy is resilient. It's very strong as compared. We are not at war. We are not fighting. Our economy is strong. Right? That is why we are leaving the economy. We are giving living strong economy to NDC and John Mahama.
Dr. Bongo, if today you want to tell me that Ghana's economy is very resilient, I think I beg to differ. But let's leave it there. When Mr. Kpan was speaking, he said the Nana Akufo-Addo's government and his appointees failed to listen to the concerns of Ghanaians. Do you share in that opinion?
Yeah. First of all, let me say, you see, that is his view, and I don't share in that view. Right? It may be 1 or 2 ministers, but people just categorize everything, say Nana Akufo-Addo's government. I know some ministers who were down to earth. I know our vice presidential candidate Bawumia, who was
Dr.
down
Bongo,
to earth.
Dr. Bongo,
Yes.
any minister, okay, is an appointee of the president. It's a representation of the president. His conduct, finally, and everything that he plays out comes back to the feet of the president. So the
Yeah. So
president
when you are
takes
saying the president
responsibility.
is not, the government is not a listening government, that is I'm saying that it's not true, because it's not all the ministers. And it's not all the appointees, right? That's what I'm saying. There were some ministers, some appointees. When you go to them, they will listen to you. Yes, of course, there are one or two ministers in which their statement, sometimes how they interact in the public, is not of good taste, right? Yes, I agree with you. They are human beings. We are all human beings. We make mistakes. And I will stand on behalf of them and I apologize, right? But I'm saying that, like
Oh my God.
he,
Okay.
he mentioned he mentioned a whole lot of things that made MPP to lose the elections, and he was saying that we are not listening, which I prefer to say there was hardship, and you see, and I'm saying that because of the hardship and because of what was happening in Ghana, people will say things that are not basically true because Nana Akufo-Addo government was a listening government, right? Nana Akufo-Addo government was a listening government, and I stated it clearly because Dr.
Dr.
Mahmoud
Bongo,
Bawumia
Dr.
was
Bongo,
always on the ground,
Dr. Bongo,
was
I
traveling to the
know,
constituency.
Dr. Bongo, I know
Sometimes he
you,
had to even mount a platform, sorry to say, to make a rally. You remember a nurse asked Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia that ever since he came to school, he have never received her allowances from first year to third year. In a few months' time, allowances were paid,
yeah,
right?
now
So if you
Dr.
say it's
Bongo,
not a
Dr.
listening
Bongo,
government,
Dr.
yes.
Bongo. That one, what the allowance were paid because of elections. That one, let's not go into it. Let me give
No,
you, I
but
want us to look
you
at,
agree with me that he listened to the lady.
no, I want to give you just
He
two
listened to
scenarios.
her. That is why he was able to pay the allowances to them.
Dr. Bongo, let's use just three scenarios. Three.
Okay,
I won't go beyond three, and then you
okay,
see where
okay,
if somebody says your government did not listen, you might agree.
okay,
When
okay.
the Akosombo Dam flood occurred in Volta region,
Yes.
the president visited there, and what did he say? He said, if it is about votes, he ought not to have been there. At that point, he is the president of the country, and he had no business going in that tangent about saying that if it's about vote, he had no business doing that. Two, look at what happened with the Ekonfi, where he told the chiefs that he turned his back towards them because they voted out his parliamentary candidate. Now, the third one was a Joso where you people lost greatly. That is the half Ejura, the half of your MPP votes in Ashanti region, where they told him that the chiefs are saying that their roads, you need to work on them for them. And if you don't work on them, they will vote again. He said it didn't bother to him. If they can go and vote for the NDC, he doesn't care. He doesn't work by threats. This shows, or it showed that the president was not listening to the concerns of the people.
John, I totally disagree with you.
Okay.
First of all, let's make this clear. You see, we have what we call political talk, right? People may take him out of context. Like you stated, he went to the, what do they call it, when the Akusomo spillage happened. We all
Mm-hmm.
know Okujoto Ablakwa is very vocal. He
Mm-hmm.
talked about it, he spoke about it, and I would say because of the proactivity, the the vocal the vocal action, or how Akujato Adrakwa is, that is why that constituency, that information spread through the media, and every day it was always on the social media. If it to be a different constituency that their MP is not vocal, it would have been a different thing altogether. So the president visited there and he said that it is not because of vote, that is why I'm coming there. You see, and people take it out of context. He said he's coming there because he's the president, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not coming there because of vote, which is true. He said if we were to be because of vote, I would have not come there.
Because they
But
never
because it's
voted
not
for
because
him.
of vote,
Because
it's
they
not
never
because of
voted for
vote.
him.
Yes, because they did not vote for him. Yes, still he's there. So he's telling them that I don't come there because you voted or you don't
But
vote for. I come in there because I'm a president.
yes, Dr.
But
Bongo,
people take it
even
out of
as we
context.
speak now, the support for those who were affected by the spillage hasn't gotten to them from the government. So it means that this
No, some
government,
some support have gone. I know Nadmo went there. Nadmo
forget not we
supply
are not
what is
talking about
needed.
those ones.
The
What
government
was
you have
voted in
supported.
parliament? What was voted in parliament and what even the UN disaster sent in hasn't gotten there yet. You know. So now let's go
Oh,
to
I
Ashanti
know.
region.
Government sent something. I know because
I know.
I saw Minister of Works and Housing Kojo Opon Kuruma also visited the place and he made those remarks. And Nadmo will not stand, will not just sit idle. You may say that the government did not do much. I will agree with you. But when disaster happens, even the district Nadmo will always come in. They'll give mattresses, they'll give some needed items, right, for their intermediate need. But if you are saying they are long-time need, the government have not yet fulfilled, I may agree with you because I don't have the facts and I didn't even know that we'll talk about this. If I knew that we would have talked about this, I would have get the facts and maybe give you all the facts so that we'll bring this topic to a conclusion.
Right,
But I don't
doctor.
have
But
the facts.
no,
But I
don't
know
worry.
government.
They are asking you when they are returning to Russia. And when you get back to Russia, we'll bring it to a fruitful conclusion. But your reaction to the issues in the Ashanti region as well. Ashanti region, NDC got about 50% of what MPP got. The votes.
Yes.
NDC got about 50% of what NDC got. NDC got about 50% of what MPP got.
No, it's not. It's not. That is. I don't have the figures right now, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
not.
MPP had about 1,600 and something, and about 500 and something, 1,500,000 and something. The
Uh-huh.
NDC was around 700 or the 800,000, which is about
Well,
50%.
1,500,000 or something. It's almost twice what NDC had.
No, I said about 50% of what you got.
Ah, okay. About 50% of what we got.
What
Yeah,
you
so
got?
if but it is still a wider margin. We had about 1,500,000 and they had 50%. So it's not even they had 500 or something.
No. NDC was around 800 and something. You were getting 1 million, whatever it is. But in any case,
Yes. Like I told you, people I have talked to political scientists and some politicians, they say NDC managed to massage Asante region.
so do we
So
agree? In 2016, the
yes.
Volta region, the voter turnout was very low. Do we say that the MPP managed to also massage them not to vote?
No, it's politics. And whatever you can do, the strategy that you can use, you should. I remember, what is his name? Oh, Hobson
Yeah,
Adoye. He made
our
a
time.
statement. Yes, that in Volta region, his constituents, they said that they shouldn't come out to vote. If they come out to vote, something will happen. So they used knockout. I don't know if it's true or it's not true, right? So he said MPP they used knockout. So they were using knockout, and people were afraid. People did not came out to vote.
No,
That
that
is
one
his
they did
statement.
that. They did one across the border. They did that in Togo to threaten people not to come across to come and vote. That was what he
Yes,
said.
that was his statement. You see, and that was in Volta region. So politicians are capable of doing anything.
Dr. Bongo, before I let you go, you are in Obuasi currently. Obuasi East and Obuasi West. You have two constituencies, right?
Yes.
So Obuasi East, is it MPP or NDC?
Obuasi East is, I think NDC have taken it. And Obuasi West is Mr. Kwatin, the former deputy finance minister. He has
Minister.
won his seat.
He are
Yes,
taking his seat. Then the NDC
yes,
are taking the other side.
yes, yes,
Oh, okay. So it means Fortunala was contesting Kwatin.
yes.
Well, but Kwatin won convincingly. It tells you that the people listened to their MPs. When Kwatin was complaining about the mismanagement led by Ken Oforiatta. A lot of people saw him to be a black sheep. But today, I think he has been exonerated because
And that is why I would say he was not the only one, right? We had 99 MPs who were advocating that Ken Ofori
no,
should
but he
leave
has a
or should be
special case.
reshuffled.
He has a special case. Even when they offered to make him a deputy minister, he turned it down.
Yes, I don't think he's the only person. We have people who they gave them minister, turn it down. Kennedy Japan is one. They gave him Minister of Interior, he turned it down, right? They gave him a lot of positions, he turned it down. So I think there are some politicians who sometimes do not want positions. They just want to be neutral so that they can do their work. But then there's one thing, I should say, as a politician, now Ghanaians electorate or Ghanaian voters are enlightened, right? They are enlightened. So politicians should not take them for granted like we used to do. You wait elections year, you go to give something thinking that it can influence their vote. Now Ghanaians voters are above that. So if you come to power, whatever we are supposed to do, we should do it for them. We should not wait for the last minute to do it. And our lifestyle, I remember telling a colleague politician that we should be careful. If not, that one day you'll be a minister and you'll be driving and your own constituents will stop you, chase you out of your car and take your car. A
Yes.
time will come. So I'm saying that we should know that voters are not enlightened. And with these results, a lot of politicians are not aware. Most of them are aware that no, now Ghanaian voters are enlightened. And now we will focus more or less the development of the nation rather than the development of our private homes or our constituents. And I know this goes to NDC because they have the majority. And they should make sure that we in MPP are watching them with eagle eyes. And if that should happen, we are going to chase them also out and we'll take our country back. But we are preparing ourselves. MPP, we are already ready. We have put strategy in place to make sure that NDC are accounted, they account to us every day, every night, every time, every second. We will not leave stone unturned. Our eyes is on them. Come
That is
7th January,
wonderful.
one they swear them in.
Yeah, keep an eye on them, and I'm pretty sure the NDC will also have to keep an eye on the MPP, and whatever you have looted, they'll retrieve it for Mother Ghana. Dr. Bongo, just in a second, do you foresee Kennedy Japan coming to the MPP presidential primaries?
For now, I can't tell. For now,
Okay.
I can't tell because after the elections, we went to visit Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in his house, and all what he was saying that we did not lose the election, right? It's just that our people did not come out to vote. But then, yeah, but then, this is time for unity. This is not time for backbiting. This one telling his story, different is telling his story, in which I think it is true. He's not talking about he want to contest. He's talking about unity. So now all of them are talking about unity. So I think it's too early. But then he said,
Okay.
we are a democratic party. Even if we should have 10 candidates who want to vote, the best is the delegates who will choose who is fit to go for
Okay.
the next election. But if
Dr.
you ask
Bongo.
me, I would say we have already marketed Bawumia, right? If you ask me, the face is familiar to all the elected to Ghanaians. And I'm telling you that Ghanaians did not vote between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and John Mahama and Joshua that you just spoke to. All his statement was Nana Goro government was not listening government, Nana no government did this. He did not even say anything about Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It was like Nana Akufo-Addo was running with John Mahama, right? the co-panelist that was
Yeah,
there.
but
He spoke only about
you find that there is
Akufo-Addo.
apparently there is no difference between Akufo-Addo and Bawumia because they are in the same saddle. But unfortunately, our time is up, Dr. Bongo. Our time is up, and we're hoping that you will come back to Russia very soon. Come back safe. Please leave the NDC to take office and then give them some briefing space and then assist them to retrieve all the loot in the system because Ghana is in dire need. So until we come your way, I will say a very big thank you for making time and
If
take
you
good
say
care
the
of
loot,
yourself in
let me say
Obuasi.
something. NDC should rather bring the loot that they have taken. You remember Maslock CEO?
Oh, you
Ferdinand
have power.
He's still in the United States of America.
Dr. Bongo, you have
He's still in
power
the United
for
States of America. We need those
hello.
money back. So NDC should make
You
sure
have
that
power
it brings
for
what they
8 good
have
years.
taken during their
Ghanaians
era.
gave you power for 8 good years. If you have anything to do, you should have done that within the 8 years.
That is what we did. We prosecuted her.
Fine.
And
So
we
you
are now want
so
to
give
threaten her
credit
to
for
come
that.
and face his trial. He's telling 10 years jail. So once we are out, we leave it to NDC because NDC, they know where she is. They should go and bring her back.
Okay. Thank you very much. And
okay. Thank you.
So until we come your way again next week, this has been good. My view coming to you on today's Ghana News TV, and we have been looking at election 2024. Good night until we come your way again. Bye-bye.
The country where I come from, the truth is an irony. Just like animal farm, justice mean inequity. So who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence. Islamic leaders silence. Kings and queens silence. Traditional leaders silence.